crafty friends. Happy Friday. Today is November 12th, and we're back for Flosstube. Sorry I missed last week. It has been busy, busy, busy at work. The new job is putting me through my paces, shall we say. I was going to say it's kicking my butt, but it's not really kicking my butt. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's not been super stressful. It's been a little frustrating at times. Dealing with data and humans at the same time can be like herding cats. So yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks. I took last weekend off just to chill. I apologize for not putting up a floss tube. I'm also going to apologize for not yet having my wrap up for Season of Smalls and for Marathon for MMIW G2S yet. To be fair, the donations from on 99 Pledges are still being collected. And in fact, there are 2 more days. That might only be today and tomorrow. It might be today, tomorrow, and one more day. But the 99 Pledges link is still active as of when I'm recording this and probably as of when I'll be posting this. So if you haven't made a pledge, if you haven't donated and you want to the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women, there is still a little bit of time for you to do so. I'll give a quick update, and then sometime over the next week or so, I will put together a special video to announce the winners of the Season of Smalls giveaways, as well as show off the things that I did for Season of Smalls, and that compilation video of everybody who submitted pictures for the work that they did for Season of Smalls. So I'll put all of that together in its own video. That way you won't have to sit through Flosstube or Yarn and stuff like that. You'll be able to just see the Season of Smalls and the marathon prizes and that sort of stuff. So hopefully in the next week, hopefully. But at that point, I'll give the finalized totals because I should have those. But as of right now, I hear this channel, and I didn't introduce myself. I'm Jessie. If you're new here, this is mislaidpages. If you weren't aware, if you're returning, you know all this already. My pronouns are she, they. I live on stolen land. Yeah, all that stuff. And where was I? Okay, so as of right now, the totals. The totals for Marathon for MMIW G2S that we raised here on this channel, thanks to all of you fantastic folks, over $1,100, $1,122 as of right now as I'm filming this. And that does not include the employer match that will have also been made to the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women directly. So all told, nearly $1,400 just from you all, just from the folks that watch me and have been supporting me, whether you watch me or found out about me some other way. The folks that have supported me and donated directly to my link, almost $1,400, and I cannot thank you all enough for your support. Because it's really obviously not about me. It's about raising the money for an organization that helps Native women, that not only educates but also organizes to try to make policy change and legislative change to help Native women. So I cannot thank you enough for your generosity, for your support, for everything that you have done and helped me do over the last 2 months. So that's my total for this channel. Now overall, from all of us stitching and all of us raising money and all of the Zoom chats and everything, we have raised very nearly $18,000. $18,000, y'all. It's fantastic. It's much more, I think, than any of us expected we would be able to gather. So it's fantastic, especially to be able to donate that money this month in November. Now, you know, these days, November is, at least here in the U.S., is generally considered Indigenous Peoples History Month and that sort of thing. But it's still November. It's still when a lot of people celebrate, you know, the idea of Thanksgiving as the colonialized ideal of Thanksgiving, which is harmful to Indigenous peoples and Native Americans. It's really important to me. It's very special to me that in this month when so many people are forgetting some of those negative messages, that we're actually going to be donating money to a Native organization that's helping Native people. So, but that's something that we all did together, and I cannot thank this community enough, not only for letting me participate, but for participating with me, for supporting me, and all that sort of stuff. So thank you all. Thank you all very much. I know I've said it a whole bunch of times. I'll probably keep saying it a whole bunch of times, but thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you. Whether you donated your time by watching my videos, whether you donated your time by crafting, whether you donated your money, however you chose to support, it is seen and appreciated. So thank you. So yeah, let's get into some, we're going to talk about some cross stitching and some knitting today. It's probably going to be kind of a stripped down version of Flosstube just because I don't have the energy to pull out all the stops, y'all. Not this week. Hopefully next week. I don't know at what point things will get back to what I have considered normal, but yeah, anyway, so I guess I need to hit my stride for this new position, and part of that I think will come after the holidays. So I am planning on taking, if everything works out, I'm planning on taking the entire week of Thanksgiving off, just so I can have some time to chill and do some things for myself, especially because the hubs will be working all week, which means that pretty much I will be on my own to do my own thing and not have to worry about being beholden to anybody during the week of Thanksgiving. I don't think I'll officially close down the website or the Etsy shop during that week. I will be doing some things to get ready for Black Friday, so that hopefully I can get y'all interested in supplying yourselves on Black Friday. I don't know if I'm going to have a Black Friday sale per se. What I'm trying to do is get a bunch of new stuff listed on the website so that there's something for you to look at that's not Fall 2021 Expo stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll happen. I've been doing a lot of work on the back end for the website, trying to get some new stuff listed, trying to get some things reworked to make it make more sense. So if you've been to the website recently, you've probably noticed that there's a lot of sold out items, so it can be hard to tell what is actually available to purchase. So what I've done is I've actually put together a collection of things that are actually in stock. So anything that I have at least one of in the shop, there's a button that will take you to that page where you can look at everything that is actually available to buy right that second, or at least all the charts. It's set up for just charts, which at the moment, other than the Dinky Dyes Silk of the Month Club, it's just charts. In the future, I will switch things up as necessary, but I thought that might make it a little bit easier. I did add a while back a search function or sort and filter function that lets you pull up just the things that are in stock, but I thought having just a button right on the main page might be a little bit easier for folks. So that is there, that is live. I've also made live gift cards, if that's something that you're interested in. If you know that you want to purchase from me in the future for yourself or for somebody else, if you want to buy a gift card, then those are available in numerous denominations. And I've also started listing long dog samplers on the website. So not only are they available, they're also still available, and I plan to keep carrying them on the Etsy shop as well. But going forward, I will definitely be adding them to the website, and I'm going to start back stocking as well on the website. So look for that as well. So that was a quick shop update that I hadn't meant to do right then, but it's my intentions over the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping to get some stuff made, get some stuff listed, so that by the time Black Friday rolls around, there will be some new things for y'all to look at and maybe be interested in and that kind of thing. So I probably will do some amount of sale on the Etsy shop just to try to clear out some back stock that I do have there. So that's what's coming up. I know a lot of folks are doing sales and new releases and stuff this weekend, and I was just telling Rachel and Heike that I'm a little bit frustrated because I don't get paid till Monday. So y'all trying to sell all this stuff over the weekend and I don't get paid till Monday. Like, so anyway, yeah, that's what's coming up for the next couple of weeks, at least outside of the crafting and the Flosstube and stuff. So what have I been doing the last couple of weeks? I actually have gotten a fair amount of stitching done. So mostly, in fact, only on my WhipGo stuff. I had planned on starting one of the model stitches that I'm going to be working on. I had hoped to start that over the weekend, and I just didn't get around to it. I didn't push myself, and I've been meaning to get to it all week, and I've just been too tired all week. It's been one of those weeks where I think I'm expending so much mental energy for work stuff that once work is done, I'm just wiped. I'm just wiped. I'm hoping that I will build up some endurance so that at some point I'll be able to work a full day mentally and still be able to do my own stuff at home. We'll see. We'll see. Yesterday was Veterans Day, so I had the day off from work and I was so productive with house stuff and just non-work stuff that it was fantastic. That's when I got a lot of the website stuff worked on. Actually, was yesterday because I had time to just focus on it and not not have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. And I got dishes done, and we got some grocery shopping done, and I got stuff prepared for Thanksgiving week and all this sort of stuff. So yesterday was a good day. I didn't do any crafting. I didn't do any crafting. By the time I was done with all that stuff, I had no energy left. So, okay, let's talk about WhipGo. Because now that Season of Smalls is done, all I have is WhipGo. Because I don't have any other themes going for November. I know a lot of people are doing Black Sampler November or No Start November. I'm not doing those things. Partly because I'm not doing a sampler that's all in black. That's just not, it's not my jam. I can't do single colors. Even on this monochromatic piece, Pandemic up here, I'm not even doing one variegation color or one variegated color. I'm doing 3 or 4 variegated colors. So we don't do solid colors in this house. We just don't. I don't. There are too many colors in the world to stick to just one for all that time. I just can't. So yeah, we're not doing Black Sampler in this house, and it's not No Start November because I have new starts that I'm planning. So yeah, WhipGo. For now, I'm just gonna hold this up. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, especially with my fancy color coding and the fact that my laser printer is not doing too well these days. My laser printer's from 2013, y'all. And it's a workhorse, but it needs an upgrade. I think I need to replace it. I just don't know what kind of printer to get. So I've been researching and I still don't know. I want to invest in a printer that I can print things off for my business. Ultimately, once I get around to the point of actually designing my own charts, I'd like to be able to print my charts and sell them. And so but I just don't know what kind of printer will do what I want it to do. So anyway, so here's WhipGo. And as you can see, the board is not very readable. So all of those squares that you see are blue are squares that have been called, but I did not complete my goal for that square. All of the squares that are green, or that have the darker green at the bottom, those are all squares that I have completed, that I met my goal. And there's one white square that's hard to see because it just sort of fades into the background. That is the one box for December that I have not finished. So this is the key. This is that Barbara Anna that I finished in April. So it officially will be called next month. And we know that because once November's numbers were called, there were only 2 numbers left. So I've already finished this piece. So once it's December, that will become a completed square. That'll give me a bingo right across the bottom here. But as of right now, I actually have 2 bingo. I already have 1 bingo on the board. Oh wait, that's not a bingo. Never mind. Okay, I lied. I lied to myself because it's because this white box red is finished to me. That's why. So I don't have a bingo as of what you see here, but I have actually already put in all my stitches for Chinese Zodiac for both October and November. So putting in those stitches, that will give me it gives me a bingo across this line. That's where the bingo is. So I actually now do have officially a bingo across this line. I just haven't changed my page yet. I haven't changed maybe if I hold it closer, you'd actually be able to read it. So yeah, that 4th line across the bottom, I actually have a bingo. And then next month, I will have, before I do any stitching at all, or without doing any more stitching this month, I will have a bingo right down the center. This center line right here. I've done all of that stitching. So that's 2 full bingos. Now, my goal really is to get a blackout board before the end of the year. So what do I have to do that? I've already finished Chinese Zodiac, so that's this box and this box up here. So those are already finished. But I do need to do my 500 stitches on Pandemic, which requires me to pull out about 200 stitches first. So I've got to do that. I've got my Macintosh Rose Sal, which I think I backed that out to 5 hours because I don't know if 5 hours will actually give me a finish. So that's 2 pieces I have to work on. Then we've got Drama Llama here that I didn't work on when it was called. And then we've got the Peppermint Purple Blackwork Stitch Along. And last but not least, we've got the second box for Animal Almanac. So that is, if I count it correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's five goals between me and the end of the year. And considering I'm not planning on doing any fancy hashtags or anything for the next 2 months, that might actually be doable. It would make me ecstatic if I actually got a blackout board for WIPCO this year. It will be the first time I've ever stuck with any kind of goal system ever, like, in my life. I'm not good with goal systems. And the funny thing is, it's not the prizes, because you're supposed to give yourself prizes for bingos. And it's not the prizes that have kept me excited. It's just the idea of actually meeting my goals, which I think is really awesome. So I need to think of something really cool to reward myself with if I do get the full board, if I do get the blackout board. But I don't even know what that would be. So so let's see the stitching that I actually did do. So fleur-de-lis, I finished before I updated my I finished the monthly goal before I updated my board and printed it out. So this is actually already finished for this month. This was called this month, and this is where we are on fleur-de-lis. Now originally, and I may have mentioned this already, originally I had set my goal for finishing this, but it had 2,000 stitches left to stitch when I looked at that. So I decided I didn't really want to push myself quite that much. Now certainly if I want to finish this before the end of the year, that's totally, that's totally a possibility. Like, I'm allowed to do that if I want to. But I don't know. It looks really nice. I've enjoyed it, but I do find it a bit monotonous because it's the same things over and over. One thing I did decide, so you can see here, so the main motif are 4 of these, of this design here. So they make sort of a cross in the center, and then there are spokes that come out at the diagonals. So this is 20 or 30% of the overall stitching for the piece, and I did stitch about 600 stitches on it. But I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough of this gold, because I don't think I certainly didn't count the stitches or really even consider how much floss I actually needed, and I had already used some of this silk for another project, so I may run out of this gold silk. But I have I believe it's a silk pack. It's definitely another one from Hand-Dyed by Rolanda that is all metal tones. It's like copper and gold and silver and stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of risking getting most of the way through this and then running out of silk, I'm going to do the main motif, this sort of cross piece in the center, in this color, and then I'm going to pull out one of those other metallic type colors and do the spokes in an accent color, because not only do I think that it will certainly prevent me from running out of silk, but the other thing I think it'll do is it'll kind of make this pop a little bit more than it might otherwise if we had the motifs at the diagonals in the same exact color. So probably like the silver if it's not too bright, or maybe a gunmetal kind of color, so that it won't stand out as much, but it'll still be nice and visible. So that is fleur-de-lis, and that is the design is by Ink Circles, by Tracy Horner of Ink Circles, and this fabric should be a 32 count because that's my jam. 32 count linen from Kathy Davidson at Dying for Cross Stitch. So I chose this and these colors specifically because we have some friends who are huge into, is it LSU, I think? The Louisiana, yeah, Louisiana State University, because the one of my friends actually grew up, and her family is from Louisiana, and so they're just huge fans. And so this is the purple and gold to go with LSU, and it's also the fleur de lis kind of pattern to go with Louisiana and New Orleans and all that sort of stuff. So it was meant to be. It was meant to be a Christmas gift for last year, or possibly an anniversary gift, and then it was going to be an anniversary gift for this year, but their anniversary is already passed again, and it's not going to get done and finished, like fully finished, before Christmas this year. So we'll shoot for next year sometime. So that's Fleur de Lis, so that's already finished for this month. I would love to finish it before the end of the year, but I have to get interested enough in it to work on it, and it's just a little tedious is all. And let's see, and then Chinese Zodiac. So this is what I've spent most of my stitching time on. Now, I don't know that I've shown a picture on the channel of where I was, but basically, like, that's where I was. Everything that's not under my hand is what I already had, except for the round that comes out here. So basically, from my hand up is about what I had before I started stitching. I did finish. I think I had to finish the tail and some of the white or the light blue and the little tiger here, and I did fill in their eyes. They had little holes for eyes. Before I started stitching on it, but everything else is what I have stitched this month. So I put in somewhere over 1,100 stitches total. I stopped counting when I got close to 1,000, or when I got to 1,000, and then I realized that I had actually stitched the beginnings of this little snake's head. I had stitched it too far under the dragon here. So when I started stitching this, the border here, I realized that the snake was way too close to the border. So I actually had to pick those stitches out and restitch. So it's somewhere around 1,100, maybe a little bit more than that. But I was, my goal was 500 stitches for 2 different months. So now I have more than 500 stitches for each month. And I'm feeling like it's time to move on from this one now. So I was pretty into it last weekend, and I was just zooming through and enjoying it and finishing my little bunny and finishing my little dragon, and everything was awesome. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm done. My brain was just like, this one's not exciting anymore, time to switch. So yeah, but fortunately I had already met my goal by the time that happened. So yeah, so this is gonna go back in the whip pile for a little while longer. I was surprised at how much progress I actually got out of 1,000 stitches. And to be fair, having put it in Pattern Keeper, I think there's 12,000 or 10,000 stitches in the whole piece. And some of those I may not be doing. I haven't decided, because there's these great big embellished corners that you're supposed to stitch in each of the 4 corners. I don't know if I'll do those. I might just leave it in this round, the round circle, because I kind of like how that looks, but I haven't decided. So regardless, there's 10,000 or so, 10,000 or less stitches total, and I think I have about 8,000 left to stitch. So still a big job, but it was going really fast. I think what's going to be slow is all these little extra motifs and stuff, and then there are some that come in here. Now the original design also has a bunch of those types of little motifs sort of all around the edges and underneath the edges of this large center design, and I don't think I'm almost positive I'm not going to stitch the ones that actually interfere with this design, because I love the way that looks, and I don't want to detract from that by adding in these kind of little funky doodles. So so that's going to reduce some stitches as well, because I want this to be very clear and undisturbed. So all of the stuff that's around I will totally stitch, but nothing that's actually going to be in part of this motif, because I just don't like the way that looks. So This is, the design is Chinese Zodiac from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is a piece of Picture This Plus fabric, and I can never remember the name of it. It's not Chime, because I think Chime was the yellow fabric for the individual Zodiac years, that those designs that they did. It is Picture This Plus. It's 28 count casual linen. It might be Heartland color. I can't remember. I have it written down somewhere, but I'm not. Who's got time for that, right? So so yeah, those are the whips that I have worked on, and that's where we are for Whip Go. So plans going forward, or intentions going forward, I do want to continue working on more Whip Go stuff for the rest of this month. Since I've already finished both of this month's goals, that leaves me free to stitch on some other things. I'm definitely going to get started on one or more model stitch. I do have two that are waiting on me to get started. I want to get Trans Pride Tapestry started. I want to get Trinket started. I don't know if she'll happen this month. I might save her for a special December start, because actually that would be really awesome if I stitched her on December 1st. We'll see. I've still got a couple weeks to decide how I want to handle that. So next up, I might actually, in fact, I'm very likely, once I get to a point where I'm ready to take a break from the model stitches, I will probably move on to Pandemic, and I will unstitch the stuff that I have to unstitch and get working back on that one. So that'll probably happen sometime before the end of the month. And then Drama Llama Sampler, I would like to stitch on sometime this month. So that's what's coming up going forward. So let's see. That was shorter than I expected it to be. Oh, because I haven't talked about other Flosstube plans. So coming up in Flosstube next month. So as you all realize or know, if you've been here, I decided not to do Vlogoween this year, largely because the boxes that I had purchased were from vendors who still sell Harry Potter branded merchandise, or not branded, but Harry Potter themed merchandise, and I've decided not to purchase from sellers who do that, or talk about them on my channel. I don't want to promote them either. And it was too late by the time I came to that realization and determination for myself to purchase other boxes to show. So I just didn't do Vlogoween, which turned out to be great, because I don't know how I would have had time or energy to post a video every single day. But I'm going to attempt to do Flossoween, no, not Flossoween, Flossmas and or slash Vlogmas, or winter vlog, daily winter vlog. Anyway, I'm trying to pull away from Christmas also, because there's so many other winter holidays that are not Christmas. So winter holiday vlog, I guess, is and I'll probably, I'm probably going to start that around December 1st. I haven't made the specific determination, because part of me doesn't want to do all the boxes that I have purchased, and I do have 2 yarn boxes that I can show you, and I will show you, and I'm very happy about that. I may also have 1 or 2 stitchy boxes, boxes of stitchy stuff. We'll see how that works out. One of them I'm going to be trying to purchase, and I may or may not get. The other one, we'll see. I've had some issues that I don't want to get into here right now. But so yeah, I don't know if I'll have stitchy stuff to share with you every day, but I will have 2 yarn countdown boxes to show you, and I'm very excited about those. I think they're going to be really awesome. So so I'm excited about that. So I will have that. I'll be trying to show like crafty progress every day. Hopefully I can actually work on something, a little something every day, so that I have something to share and that kind of stuff, things to talk about, and all that kind of stuff. What I also have, just like I had last year, I have a chocolate advent and I have a coffee advent, so I have those to share with you as well. But part of what I am thinking about doing is instead of, they're all set up to be a countdown from 1 to 25. So theoretically it's December 1st to Christmas Day. I don't necessarily want to tie it to Christmas. Like, part of me wants to tie it to New Year's, or to New Year's Eve, or possibly winter solstice, which would be December 21st, which means I would start the vlogging earlier. a couple days earlier. So I haven't really decided. It's probably, to be perfectly honest, because it takes a lot more time and effort to change things up, I will probably just stick to the 1st through the 25th for opening things, and then just do the vlog a couple more days till the end of the month, because I plan on doing it the 1st to the 31st anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. My intention is not necessarily to count down to Christmas. My intention is just to count down during December. So if y'all have any thoughts or feelings about that, let me know. Because I'm always looking for ways to be, for my stuff to be less, or to be more inclusive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because I know that there are a lot of other things. I'm not sure if we're already in Diwali or if Diwali is happening soon. I can't remember the dates, but I know Diwali happens in this general time of year, where also Hanukkah will happen, I think, earlier than Christmas this year. Winter solstice, and Kwanzaa, and I know I'm missing something. I'm not sure what Islam is recognizing at this time of year. I'm not as familiar with their holy days. But yeah, so there's a lot of different holidays and celebration times and all kinds of stuff happening this time of year. So I don't want to make folks feel like if it's not about Christmas, it's not happening here, because I would actually prefer for it to be anything but Christmas, because it's such a, yeah, I mean, I celebrate, sort of the secular version of Christmas, because for me personally, it's been different for my family, but for me personally, Christmas has never been about the Christian idea of Christmas. It's never been about the birth of Christ or anything like that. That's not how I felt about it growing up. My mom at one time was very religious, was very active in a local church. My whole family was when I was very, very young. Some things happened that were not so great, and that sort of turned all of them against the church, against that particular church. Not against the church, but yeah, I don't want to get into details about that, but essentially that sort of dissolved the idea that my family had about being involved in organized religion. After that, my mother was a very spiritual person, but was no longer a religious person, and my dad and brother stopped being kind of either one. They sort of just became none. And I think at the end of the day, all of us, the 4 of us, being my mom, my dad, and my brother and I, all believe in a higher power, or believed, as the case may be, in a higher power. I just never have been Christian. I never have believed that my higher power looks or feels like that. My higher power is a little bit more esoteric. Anyway, so I'm not trying to get on a whole thing there. But the point is, I'm not Christian. I don't have issues with people who are. I just, Christianity as an organized religion, especially American Christianity, I have some issues with. But ultimately, it's just that I don't like this idea that everybody just assumes everybody else is a Christian here in the U.S., and that everybody else assumes everybody's celebrating Christmas, because there's so many other things that folks can be celebrating, so many other belief systems and spiritualities and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to be, I want to recognize that, and I want to be more inclusive of that and not make anybody feel left out just because I tend to just sort of automatically fall into the Christmas thing. So if any of that made any sense. Okay, so I am planning on doing a winter vlog, countdown to New Year's or whatever. I'll figure out what I'm gonna call it and do the splash pages and stuff like that. The intro and outro actually is what I mean. So I am planning on doing that. I'm planning on having yarns to show you. If I can get my hands on some stitchy stuff to show you, I will do that too, because I know that's fun. We'll eat chocolate every morning. We'll have coffee every morning. Or at least as many mornings as I can manage. With any luck, I won't have all the dental issues this year that I did last year. In fact, it was interesting because memories came up on Facebook yesterday, and my memory from yesterday was actually a picture of me sitting on the couch with the cats, or it was a picture that I was sitting on the couch. It's a picture I took when I was sitting on the couch with the cats, because I was miserable, because that was the day before I had my first tooth pulled from all of the wonderfulness that has been my dental issues over the last year. So, last Veterans Day, I was absolutely miserable, and I sat on the couch, and the cats snuggled me and tried to make me feel better. This Veterans Day, I was super productive and tried to blah, blah, blah. Tried to not think about my mother too awfully much. My mother and my father were both veterans. They were both in the Army. I can't remember if I've said this on the channel before, but my mother actually, she joined the military when she was 18, and that was in 1965. Women didn't have a whole lot of options, and for her it was join the military or become a secretary. Those were or get married. Those were your options. So she chose to join the military so that she could go and see the world and experience life and do things. She met my dad while she was in the Army, and at that time, regardless of your marital status or other socioeconomic anything, if you were a female person in the military and you got pregnant, then you had to get out of the military. So, and it was something that my mother and I joked about all the time, or talked about all the time, because, you know, when she was 20 years old, married, and got pregnant with my brother, she had to leave the military. Now, she got an honorable discharge. It's not like they were, you know, you horrible person, blah, 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 whatever. But she had to leave. You know, she had to, whatever they call that. I don't think it's a decommission. Anyway, she had to leave the military. She was honorably discharged. So she was only in for 2 years, but she was in the U.S. Women's Army Corps. Army Corps women, I forget what it's, anyway. It was a big deal because it was one of the first times that women were allowed to serve in the Army, in the military that way. And she did a lot of really groundbreaking things. So yeah, it's Veterans Day has always been special for me, but it's harder now. So anyway, it's probably why I was so productive, because I was just trying not to be this all day. Anyway, for any of you out there who have served or who are serving, thank you for your service. I appreciate you. And I will say that I can say that and I can appreciate you regardless of whatever else is going on, because yeah, anyway, thank you for your service. My brain is all over the place today. So, so that's what's coming up in December. I'll have fun stuff to show you, fun stuff to share it with you. I don't know if I'll sing, I don't know if I'll sing 12 Days of Christmas this year. We'll see. Maybe I'll find a new song. So that's coming up. I do have some purchases, but I'm not going to show them right now. I haven't gathered them up, and it's just, I'll show them at some future point, but not today, not today. So what that leaves is knitting. I have done a fair bit of knitting. I've hit, English is not my strong suit today. I have hit kind of I won't say a wall, but I kind of hit a point where, because I think I was hyper focusing on my Stephen West, my shawlography mystery knit along, and partly because I was trying to speed through it so that I didn't get spoiled on the final design, because there were only 4 weeks, 4 clues, and I got way behind. So I only just started clue 2 sometime this past week, but clue 4 had already dropped the previous Friday. So everything's out there, everybody's finishing their shawls, the pictures are everywhere. So ultimately, you know, I think I was like really speeding through it to try to finish it before I got spoiled, but then I got spoiled anyway, and I think that's probably why I'm suddenly less interested in knitting it all the time. You know, it's the mystery of the thing that drives me. I don't know. Anyway. I still intend to finish it one way or another. I don't know that I'm going to finish it. I don't know that I'm going to do all of the things from where I am to the end of clue 4, because some of the design elements that I've seen now that it's been spoiled for me are not design elements that I care for. And I'm actually just about and this is going to be spoilers. So if you were like me and you were trying not to spoil yourself, here's a fair warning for spoilers. I'm going to be talking about the design from clue 2 forward. I'm going to be showing the design from clue 1 and clue 2. So if you don't want to know anything about that, you can dip out now. It's totally fine. But I just want to give you a heads up. So I'm just about to the point. So this is section, I think this is through section 5. I think I've just started section 6, and you can't even really tell that I've started section 6. So actually, let me talk about what I have already knitted, and then we'll talk about what I am or am not going to knit before. And I'm gonna shuffle this around because I don't want it to fall off my needle, because this is almost 300 stitches on the needle, and I don't want any of them to fall off. So, okay, here we go. This is about the best way I can show you. So this is where we started, was in this purple area down here. We had this little tiny fan, and I did all these wedges off of the fan, and then we did all this fun slip stitch V thing happening here, which is pretty fun, and I think it looks pretty cool with the colors the way they've gone. Then we came to the first part that I was not so sure about. And still not so sure about design-wise. Like, it's a cool concept, but for me and something that I would wear or something that I would want in my life, this is a little weird. So these are I-cord loops, this section right here, and one of you referred to them on Instagram as yarn shrimps, which is just still my favorite thing ever. So these are the yarn shrimps. That's the yarn shrimp section, and and I'm kind of dubious about it. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I feel, and this might just be me being, me, but I am a little concerned that this is not terribly strong, because there's only like 2 little loops holding that all together, and I am so afraid that the cats are going to catch it, or I'm going to pull it too hard or something, and it's just going to rip apart. And that might just be me being paranoid, but that's part of the reason that I'm concerned about the yarn shrimps. But also just like the way it's not that I don't like the way it looks, I'm just not sure I do love the way it looks. But anyway, so so we have the yarn shrimp section, and then we have here, this is another slip stitch section that creates these really cool slip stitch columns. And I'm not sure I'm super in love with the purple and the orange together, but I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's definitely a contrast. So this was, I think this was section 1, section 2, section 3, yarn shrimps are section 4, and then the slip stitch columns are section 5. So yeah, I've just started section 6. Section 6 is where we're going to be doing some welts, as he calls them. And the way the welts work is you essentially make, I'm going to be stitching like 10 rows on top of this. It'll just be stockinette. And then on that 11th row, I'll come back and actually sort of tack it down to itself. This is not going to make a lot of sense if you're not a knitter, but I'm actually going to be tacking it down to itself to create this kind of little pocket sort of situation that will then get knit down to the rest of the piece, and that's what the welt will be. So it's going to be this little bubble that's sort of folded over on itself, and then we continue knitting. So there's going to be a row of welts, and then there's going to be a little bit more knitting or something, and then there's going to be a row of bobbles, or bobbles, I think, not bubbles, and then there's going to be lots of other stuff going on, and it's, I think in totality, it's just a little too much for me. Like for me, having all the slip stitching and then this one kind of out of the box section for me would be plenty. The idea of continuing to do so many out of the box sections in the whole thing is a little too much for me. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead with the welts because I think I kind of like the way that they look. They're a little different. And then I think I'll just have to play it by ear for the rest of it. There's apparently after the welts and the bobbles, there's then a section of brioche. And I'm probably like 90% certain that I'm not going to do the brioche, but we'll see. We'll see when I get there. And then after the brioche, there is this section where you somehow like the yarn is sort of woven over itself to create these loose X's. And it looks kind of cool. It kind of is reminiscent of macrame to me, which is not a bad thing, but it's sort of like reminiscent of macrame. So it's like these X's where the pieces of yarn are laid over each other. So there's an inch or inch and a half of just yarn that just crosses, and there's nothing holding it together except for the stitch on this side and the stitch on the other side. And again, this is probably just a me thing, but I can just see the cat's getting a claw stuck and ripping it, or it get like, and Heike said it wouldn't get tangled, but in my brain it would easily get tangled and then just look awful, or get balled up, and like, I don't know. I have fears, so that I will almost definitely leave out. And I don't know about section 4. I've heard folks saying that, not section 4, clue 4, where you do the edging that he's designed. I've heard lots of folks saying that they don't care for that and that it looks tedious and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead. I've seen how it looks, and it looks fine to me. The edging looks totally fine to me. But lots of folks are saying that it just looks like too much work or something. So I don't know. We'll see. I will say that Heike decided, I don't think Heike even got to the yarn shrimps. I shouldn't say it that way. Heike decided not to pursue the design past the yarn shrimps. I don't want to say she didn't get to it like there's some kind of failing on her part. No, she made a decision. She made a decision not to go any farther, which is totally valid. So because I think she got to the end of this section with these slip stitch V's, which is really cool. And then she started looking at the rest of the design and waiting to see how all 4 clues were going to work together, and decided that she wasn't real thrilled. So she decided to bind off right here, and she now has a kitty sweater. Which she posted on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, Stone Cold Coffee Crafts on Instagram. I believe it was Lola modeling that for her. It was fabulous. So she's going to use the yarn for another project, which is totally fine. I don't think I would use these yarns. I mean, I might use them for another project, but I'm so far in now. I'm going to make this into something. It's going to be something. Even if I do the next couple of sections and then, you know, skip various things and move forward, we'll see. But I'm going to keep going. I don't know what it'll look like in the end. It's most certainly not going to look like his version, because there's pieces and parts I'm just not going to do. Just not going to do it. But yeah, so this is where we are at the moment. So as I said, I'm in clue 2, and I'm in section 5. And, pardon me. I took a big whiff of wool and it just caught me. But that's where we are with the West Knits shawlography. I will say that I'm significantly less intimidated by Stephen West patterns at this point, because he does do a really great job of explaining and showing you how to do every single step. And if I can do this stuff, I can probably do pretty much anything that he's going to throw at me. So at some point in the not too distant future, I will be doing last year's Mystery Knit Along, which was Slipstravaganza. And to be honest, the reason that I even was like so excited about this one was because Slipstravaganza looked so awesome when it was finished. I was like, oh, it's got to be fantastic this year too. But this design is very different than Slipstravaganza. They're both pretty avant-garde in their own ways, but they're very, very different in the kinds of elements that are included. And this one it has a little too many way out of the box elements for me, just a little too much. So I will say that even though I will jump on a Casapinka Mystery Knit Along in a heartbeat with no reservations, I'm going to probably wait for all the Mystery Knit Alongs from Stephen West to be fully released before I start them in the future. I think he's fabulous. He's an incredible teacher, and such a unique and very creative designer. It's just that his taste and my taste are not exactly the same. So, but that's where we are with that. And folks, I think that's all I have for you today. We've now hit the 50-minute mark or so, and I did ramble about some random stuff. So we got almost your full hour in there this time. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it's been a little bit different than usual, but yeah. So I did want to make sure that I came on here and that I chatted with you and that I showed you what I've been working on. I don't like skipping weeks, but it's been really difficult to fit the videos in. I don't want to go back to an every other week or once a month kind of schedule because it's easier for me in a lot of ways to post every week because there's less stuff for me to have to remember and less things for me to have to show you, but at the same time, every week can be a little taxing as well. So I don't know. I may have to reevaluate things going forward in the new year. We'll have to see. There's a lot of stuff I've wanted to do with my channel, but it's been really difficult to get all of the things that I want to do in as I want to do them. It's just not happening. There aren't enough hours in the day, and I think you all know what that feels like. So anyway, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed this, my wackiness and weirdness on a Friday evening. After all my brain power has been used. I hope you're having the best day and week and weekend that is available to you. I hope you have some great stuff planned for this weekend, if that's something that you can get into. I hope you're getting some stitching in and that you have some fun plans for the next couple of weeks before. We're only weeks until the end of the year, y'all. Like 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and then it's going to be January. Oh, that's what I was going to mention too, is I'll be starting to develop my WhipGo board for 2022 very soon. I probably won't start really sharing that or finalizing it until December, though. It's still a little bit early to do that, but I'll be thinking about it. And part of that will be pulling together all of my remaining whips so that we can do a whip parade towards the end of the year, and a finish parade, and all that kind of stuff. So lots of fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks as we're counting down to the end of 2021 and hoping for a really fantastic 2022. Maybe does it jinx it if we hope that it's better? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Hope you're having the best everything that's available to you, and I will see you again next time. Until then, remember to stay hydrated, remember to take all the meds that you need to take, and remember that you are enough. Bye. I love you all.